Hey everybody, how's it going? Rich here. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year. Dropping a Gunsmith video update today, one of 3 that I'm doing. Crazy busy day. I'm going to be updating everyone on every game that we've got in production and the plans that are coming this year. So, what's happening with Gunsmith? Gunsmith, we have been reading everyone's feedback and reading all of the comments, reviews, etc, that you've been saying over the last couple of months, especially regarding belts. And this is one of the things I wanted to bring up today and just go over. So we have obviously got a big division between people that like these new belts and old players that like the old belts, don't like the new belts. We have been trying to think of a solution for this for weeks. These are 2 totally different systems. They can't be co-joined. They can't interact with one another because they're just completely different. So, from a game design perspective, right? How do we handle this problem? Well, we think the only solution we can have is that we just give you both. And then that way, if you like physics and you like making the crazy physics factory, well, that system's done and you can play on that system. If you like having everything very precise and one after the other and linked like you see here, you've got that version as well. So what we're going to do is we will have a option in the main menu and you can enable whichever game mode you like. So it will be locked in for that session. So you can play, you almost effectively get 2 different games. You can have one game where it's like this and it's very precise and it stops. And then you can have another game where if you want to just go absolutely nuts and have it all physics based, you got it. So after listening to the community and understanding that, hey, this system's not for everyone, well, there's no point just chucking what we did in the bin. I guess is experience we can put it down to. We thought this system everyone would like better than the old one. I thought it was kind of a no-brainer, honestly. So it's just experience, I guess. You find out from the amount of players you have and you find out all these things. There's no way. I think there was a good analogy where I think even Gabe Newell said this about CounterStrike, where people, I think it was something to do with the riot shield, and don't quote me on this because I'm not sure, but basically in CounterStrike there was a riot shield, and I think I remember, I'd have to look it up to be sure, but I'm pretty sure I remember he said when they made CounterStrike, people complained about the riot shield, so they took the riot shield out and player numbers went up, but then loads of people wanted the riot shield, so they put the riot shield back in and player numbers went up again. So what do you actually conclude from that? Is the riot shield good or bad? We don't know. So basically that's kind of like the analogy here. People like this new system, some people don't like the old system. So in an effort to just basically make both player bases happy, I'm just going to give you the ability to pick what game you want to play, and I don't see how else we can do it, honestly. I think that's pretty fair. So like I say, what will happen is you will get the option to start the game in either physics mode or I don't know, locked belt mode. I'll make a name for it that's not so terrible, and we'll just go from there. And then what the only caveat to this is, there's only one. You will not be able, no matter who or what system you put in, to make vehicles physically based. That's impossible because they have to be, they're all animated, they're all linked up, and it cannot be done. It just can't be done. So that's where I've got to cut it. But what I will try and do is at least bring up the medium items to physical belts. So the smaller medium, all of that stuff, which will be the vast majority apart from vehicles, will be on physical belts. So there you go, you've got both. So anyone that doesn't like the new system, you can play the old system. and I know some of you out there really like the new system. So you can play both ways. It's extra gameplay for people, and obviously we'll keep working on both. The only thing is, obviously, of course, you got to realise that we took the physics system out because it was a killer on FPS, and there is only so much I can do and we can do without some insane engineering team behind us to get the FPS higher with physics, because it dumps onto the CPU and it really is hard, very hard, to optimize that more than we did. We spent 2 years trying to optimize, and anyone that's been with us from the start knows how much we have been optimizing that physics system. But for the scale of factory we wanted, couldn't stick with physics, and I think that's why you see other games with the physics system, the FPS tanks, or they're not using that system, they're using the belt system, because you get way better FPS results from the locked system. Satisfactory comes to mind. That is an extremely optimized infinite builder where you can have thousands of objects and the FPS is still not bad, right? It's pretty good for what it is, actually. It's very impressive. So that is, but I can guarantee you if they switch it to a physics, rip FPS immediately. So that is where the rubber meets the road, guys, and we have to decide which one we go with. I obviously thought this one would be perma better and everyone would like it. Didn't happen. So obviously we've always said we're community driven. We listen to the fans and the players and the people that play our game more than we do. So I can only take your advice sometimes, because some of you out there who give feedback play it more than I do. So it's very valid, and we're listening, and as usual we will discuss everything everyone has to say. So that, I think, is the best solution we can have, really. Other than that, obviously in the next there's a small patch coming to fix a few things this weekend, but nothing too crazy. I think some people pointed out there's a small shoebox bug that went in there that I'll push live, that'll get fixed. Apart from that, we've had loads of feedback from the new update, and we'll be implementing that after we're done with the Junk Punk update, which will be in a few weeks' time. So yeah, more qual coming, more feedback, stuff that we've gone over to be implemented. People want us to have a look at the henchman system again. Kind of just talking, not really doing anything here. But yeah, people want us to have a look at some other stuff. So we're going to go and look at all of that. And this time now will be to polish all of the small bugs that are still sticking around, to make sure that when you play the game, everyone's happy with what they're playing, and you're not getting any of these annoying things that shouldn't be in there. I found a few, and I think it's just a hangover of having a studio that's become semi-successful, where we've had Gunsmith has been a really successful title, but similarly hasn't been successful enough for me to just plow all the money into it to finish it. It's been one of these games that kind of ticks over, makes decent money, and then you can invest back into it, but it's not enough to give it that extreme boost that it needs, really. But we continue, and you know what, everyone has seen now that we will continue polishing the game, and this year it is going to be finished. So I'm very happy and very excited about that, because we've had some hiccups along the way, but you know what, we've plowed through. We have come over every obstacle, and you know what, it hasn't been as smooth as I thought it would be making this IP. I thought it would be easier, but we demand a high quality. We demand these things that are not easy to put in, and that's what makes it unique. That's what makes this game unique. So I think maybe I'll leave it there, because I think I've said everything I need to say for now. But obviously we will put a date on this change. There's going to be a lot of testing needed. There's going to be a lot of different scenarios tested to make sure it's feasible, etc. 2 different systems, but we can do it. We're going to do it. It's going to be fun. So then that way, everyone that wants to play the different systems can play them, and I think that's the best thing we can do. Obviously, if anyone's got a really great idea, they want to give another idea, feel free to drop a comment or a message in the chat, in Discord or on Steam or on the Steam forums. I think that's about wraps it up really. But I hope everyone had a good New Year and a good Christmas. I will see you soon with the belts update, backdate, update, new belts, old belts version. Enjoy.